Are you considering purchasing your home in Denver, Colorado, and are on the fence whether you should consider a new build or go the resale route? Well, you've come to the right place. My name is Jessica Arguello, and I'm a licensed realtor in the Denver metro area, helping potential homebuyers just like yourself answer these long-standing questions and make sure you do what's best for you ultimately in the long run. If you find this video helpful, or if you would like to support me, if you could go ahead and smash that thumbs up button, and also don't forget to subscribe. Let's dive right in. Well, to start off, let's start by asking yourself, how much money do you currently have and how much are you willing to spend? When you buy a new build, your biggest incentive here, in my opinion, would be energy conservation, lender incentives, long-standing warranties, and everything being brand new, which can also drastically change your homeowner's insurance because you're much less likely to file a claim. Most new builds have an open layout, which is really nice because of the flexibility for space and the open concept that most people have now grown accustomed to and love. In my honest opinion, from a realtor's perspective, I typically help relocation clients as well as a lot of first-time homebuyers. So in this case, it can be seen as such a pro to go the new build route because it eliminates a lot of that fierce competition. New construction buyers essentially are competing against no one else to buy that given home except yourself. And in today's market, that can be crucial. What some people may not know about new builds are you can negotiate that set price. And that's why it's so important that you have a reliable and good realtor on your side to do that for you. In 2020, maybe not so much, but in the current market we're in, fall of 2022, this is something I wholeheartedly recommend. When buying a new build, you're able to capitalize on the lender incentives that they have. When you use their preferred partners, which is the mortgage company they will typically recommend you apply to, either to get on the wait list or even to go under contract on a given lot. This is pretty typical. These lender incentives drastically change depending on builder and depending on time of year and the quarter that you're in. Lender incentives typically consist of a buy down rate, closing cost assistance, or a portion of your down payment paid for. I have also seen lenders pay for a portion of your design center percentage or give a flat fee to how much they're willing to contribute. Aside from that, typically you are only required to put a certain amount down for your earnest money to lock in on that home. Assuming you're going from the ground up through a new build, meaning you are essentially going in when the ground is dirt up until when it is completely built. If that's the case, you're looking at a full duration of anywhere between 9 to 12 months. And some buyers are really enticed by this because they will typically require, I've seen as little as $1,000 down to up to $15,000, depending on the builder. And all while the home is being built, they are given that additional 9 to 12 months to save for either the remainder of their down payment or additional costs when coming to close on their home, and this can really help a first-time home buyer. New builds may also be a good choice if you are single, have kiddos, or are just not looking to set aside a replacement budget or an whoops budget in the event something goes out when you are now the sole owner. Typically, the builder will have a warranty in place that will cover a majority of these big ticket items for up to 10 years. Make sure that if you do go the new build route, you go over these warranty options initially to make sure you understand exactly what's covered or how long it's covered, what you need to do to keep it covered while you maintain and live in the home. Last thing I'll touch on in regards to new builds and why this may be a good choice for you is resale value. Not only are new builds constructed to have some really nice safety features, up-to-date HVAC, and top-of-the-line finishes, but as new builds become more a thing, at some point, once all of this new construction stops 5 years down the road, these newer homes will be a much more desirable home, in my opinion, than, say, a 1960 build. So as far as 5 years down the line, when you do attempt to resell your home, this is going to entice a buyer when they're actively looking. Now let's touch on resale. Now, why on earth would you buy a resale when you could get all of that at such a good price with a brand new home? Well, let's break it down. A resale typically comes with a larger lot, much less taxes, not so cookie cutter homes. Typically, if you are around the city's perimeter, you are attached to some really cool communities and homes with a lot of character. Let's start off with the buying process when you buy a resale home compared to a new build. So with a resale, you do have to come up with the portion of your down payment as well as your closing costs on your own. So incentives are pretty much non-existent. Something to consider, however, in the current market we're in is you can always get these things negotiated during that initial offer. And yes, I want to repeat, you can get your closing costs completely paid for by your seller. And this is why it's so important that you not only have a really good realtor on your side, but one who knows how to do just that. I always like to think of it as sweetening the deal and making sure that not only you're taken care of as a buyer, but when negotiating, the seller is also heard. You buy a new build, something a lot of builders don't go over is not everything is included. And sometimes they really do nickel and dime you. When you buy a new build, not all appliances are included. Whereas a resale, you can negotiate anything into that price with that initial offer. I've seen new builds be as silly and really nickel and dime you as far as things such as putting up blinds, installing a doorbell. Things that are at a higher ticket price would be having your yard landscaped. And these things come within a certain time where you typically have to have your yard landscaped within a year after close, which can really add up, especially for a first-time buyer. Let's keep in mind that I am currently talking about the Denver metro area as a whole. And with new builds, the lot sizes of these homes are really tiny. With a resale home, you are typically given a lot more land and almost double in some cases. For some people, this may not be something that you even care about, but for someone like me who likes my space and my yard, it really does change things. When offering on your resale as a buyer, you typically are often given a lot more room when negotiating price and terms that you're not given with a new build. A new build will typically give you about a 60-day window once they've done framed, and that date can change a week before closing. Whereas a resale, you choose that closing date with your realtor, and if something does come up, that can easily be changed with an amend depending on your original agreement. Resale homes often have a lot more traditional layouts where you get that initial formal living room in the entranceway as well as a dining room, which is something really nice. Something I am dying to touch on is taxes, especially in Denver. Metro taxes are something I want to scream from the top of my lungs. If you've got a new build or you recently built one, you live in the Denver metro area and your realtor or your sales rep at the builder didn't touch on this, I just want to give you the biggest hug. When you buy a new build, you are buying on unassessed land, meaning there is no tax value attached to that land because it was dirt. The following year, assuming you bought your home, say, end of year, they typically assess land in April or May. And at that time, that will come with a new tax rate, and in some cases, a very hefty one, especially with these metro tax districts. One of the most expensive cities in Colorado currently for that metro tax is Commerce City, but that amount is typically anywhere between 1.1% for taxes all the way up to 1.5%, which is where Commerce City is at. You're paying close to $9,000 a year in taxes, whereas a resale, it's typically half of that or even less. For reference, I have a client who lives in Northland, Colorado in a 2-story, 2,600 square foot home. Her taxes are $3,300 a year. But if you bought that same home 3 miles east of Northland, you would be paying close to $9,000. Divide that by 12, and that's how much it's going to drastically change your monthly mortgage. So if you took anything from this video, just pay attention to that. Ask how much your tax rate is, and just make sure you're more educated when going into that builder. As you can see, both of these offer significant but very different advantages, whether you go the resale or the new build route. Also keep in mind that a real question you should be asking yourself is not if you want a new build or a resale, but what ultimately comes down to the best home that fits your family's needs. I really hope this video is helpful. If you have any direct questions or anything I didn't answer, I would love to address them down below in the comments. You can reach out to me. I have my social links listed down below. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or if you would like me to help you buy a home. Have a great day, and I will catch you in the next one, guys. Bye.